Hello and welcome everyone to London South East College's online open day, brought to you by SpringPod. In this afternoon session, we're going to be giving you a fantastic insight into how London South East Colleges can help set you up for a career in construction, brickwork, carpentry and built environment. I am Matt, your host today, and our talk will be around 45 minutes, and I'd love to encourage you to ask as many questions as you would like throughout the talk. There is a Q&A tab to the side where you can ask any questions that you have, and we'll be talking through them with our speaker after the presentation. So let's meet today's speaker. I am super lucky to be joined by the Deputy Head of Faculty for Construction Trades, Dan Bogle. Dan, good afternoon. Great to have you here.
Hi, Matt. Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome everyone to the online webinar this afternoon, where I'm going to tell you all about the construction courses.
Fantastic. Yeah, so Dan's going to be taking us through a presentation shortly, but before that, we have a few informational videos to go through, I believe, just to give you a flavour of life at
The skills I've learned is definitely camera work, Adobe Premiere, Photoshop.
The students come to us once a week and we prepare the food for the canteen, getting the students used to working in a real-life kitchen.
I was lucky enough to get onto the multi-trades construction. I had all the help I needed in terms of getting my CV up to the level it needed to be.
Working in the garage, get to know how it works inside the car.
With tutors, give one-to-one tutoring so that you can know what you need to improve on.
We learn different varieties of styles. Now we're working on a musical. The whole company comes together and we all show what we've learned.
We place huge emphasis on ensuring that our students are career ready. We look forward to welcoming you to become part of our success story.
Fantastic. So that's our first video. I believe we have a couple of others as well, which I think will just be loading up now.
Welcome to London South East College's virtual course open event. My name is Errol Ince and I'm the Vice Principal for STEM. There's a little bit more information about me and our staff in the biography section. We currently deliver training in engineering and construction at 4 sites, and we hope to have a 5th at our Aerospace Technical College at Biggin Hill in the very near future. Bromley is our largest campus, and we offer engineering, motor vehicle and construction courses including brickwork, carpentry, plumbing and electrical installation. Holly Hill and Kidbrooke are purely dedicated to construction and have some impressive and spacious industry standard workshops for brickwork, carpentry, plumbing, electrical installation and a range of specialist employability courses. At our Gwynedd campus, we have a smaller motor vehicle section offering foundation and intermediate courses. All of our teachers are fully skilled and qualified in their subjects and have a wealth of knowledge and experience that they use in their lessons to ensure that students learn the essential skills they need to secure long-term employment within the industry. This includes English and Maths and related work experience. We also have a dedicated additional learning support tutors who provide specialist one-to-one support. I do hope you find the presentations informative and you will have the opportunity to ask questions at the end. Thank you and enjoy the live talk.
London South East Colleges offers a high level of training. The tutors are industry based, they have the knowledge, they can impart that knowledge onto their students.
Well, it gets your skill level up really good, so I'd rather be working in here just to be familiar with the tools, the environment before you go out there in the big world. What we do is we do practical and theory, and all the units that we do for our course, we go through that and then we'll come out in the workshop and do the actual tasks and the units that we do for our exam. Since coming to class, I've learned that I don't necessarily want to be a bricklayer my whole life, but I want to learn other sides of construction as well, maybe manager someday.
Fantastic. Well, some great videos there to give you a little flavour of life at London South East Colleges. And I'm now going to hand over to Dan to take us through the presentation.
Thank you very much, Matt. Okay, well, this afternoon, as you can see from the slide there, I'm going to be telling you all about the construction curriculum offer at London South East Colleges. The aim of this afternoon's talk is to tell you a little bit more about the courses that you're applying for, and so that you have a bit of a better understanding of the courses and what you're taking on, to show you what sort of progression opportunities you might have on your successful completion, where you will go when you finish, and to discuss possible career opportunities which may be open to you after the successful completion of your course. So what sort of jobs can these courses lead to? Well, at our campus, we have courses in bricklaying, carpentry and construction in the built environment. We have level 1 and 2 diploma in bricklaying. We have a level 1 and 2 diploma in carpentry, and we have a level 3 course which is called construction and the built environment. The level 1 and 2 diploma in bricklaying is a practical course with classroom theory as well. Level 1 and 2 diploma in carpentry, that's also a practical course. And the level 3 course is a theory course, mainly aimed at people wanting to study surveying, site management and design. We also have 1 or 2 other courses which are not listed there, but I will be able to answer questions on those as well today if you'd like. We have entry-level courses, which are courses for those that would like to study before going on to a level 1 course. And we also have level 4 courses, which are suitable for students who are leaving a level 3 course and want to come back and study part-time, possibly something like site supervision or site management. But those courses you can see on the screen there, they're our core courses for students leaving school and progressing to college. All the courses that we deliver at the college are nationally recognised. What that means is you will get a certificate that you can take elsewhere if you move house. It's a certificate that will be valuable for the rest of your life. It will be a certificate that is recognised by the industry, and that means that we have to also adhere to specific standards when we are teaching and awarding that course. The awarding bodies that we use are, for our entry-level course, we use an awarding body called a Centis. For our construction courses, our bricklaying and carpentry courses, we use an awarding body called C-Skills, NOCN. For our plumbing courses, which I know I'm not talking about today, but is part of our group, we use City and Guilds. And for our level 3 courses, that's our surveying and site management type courses, we use Edexcel or BTEC, which some of you may be familiar with from school. One of the things that you need to think about when you start at college is, where is this going to lead you to and what sort of levels can I do? So you can see from this little chart here that you can progress from entry level up to level 1 and on to level 2. And then when you complete level 2, you could then possibly leave college. Many students leave college with a level 2 in bricklaying or carpentry and go on site, but they might still continue to do what's called an apprenticeship, which is where students study whilst working on site, and somebody comes on site and checks the skills that they do on site to see whether they can do them in the real workplace. And then, as well as a level 2 diploma, they end up with an NVQ. An alternative to that is, if you think that rather than being on site in a trade capacity, you'd prefer to be on site, perhaps doing something like site management or surveying, then you might choose to go on and do a level 3 diploma. And that means that you will become a technician level in construction, and then possibly that level 3 diploma might lead you into higher education, such as a degree or a higher national certificate for students wanting to become a chartered surveyor, a site manager or an architect or something like that. This slide tells you a little bit about your practical session, so I'm just going to tell you a bit about that. One of the most important parts, and probably the most fun part for many of you, of choosing a construction course is the practical sessions. At LSEC, we've got really fantastic construction workshops, and I will just say there are some brilliant 3D walk-around site for those. If you'd like to look at those, they really show the workshops well and use special equipment to give you a 3D virtual tour of the workshops. In those practical sessions, you will initially be taught how to use tools, how to use the materials for your trade. And then at the end of each little section, you'll be tested by your tutor. You'll be given a practical task to do to see whether you can do that to the right standard. If you do meet the standards, they'll leave you to do the test and then they'll come and mark your work. If you meet the standard, then you'll be signed off that little particular element and move on to the next one. You'll probably do 6 or 7 tasks in a year, 6 or 7 little practical tests. If you're doing bricklaying, that will be things like building a garden wall, building a blockwork wall, building a cavity wall. If you're doing carpentry, it will probably be things like hanging a door, building a frame, using power tools, or building a roof. That's just a few examples. We also have classroom sessions, so that's important to remember, as well as practical sessions. And in those sessions, you will learn all the theory behind the things that you've been doing in the workshop. So why do we use the materials that we use? What are the properties? Why do we use tools? How do we use things safely? What are the laws around working in construction that we need to follow? As well as what we call your vocational course, you're learning your trade, we also have a large section of the course all about getting employment. And that comes down to 2 parts. One of those is work experience. So while you're on your full-time course, we would be looking to help you, and hopefully with your help as well, find at least 2 weeks work experience during that year in the construction industry. You would then get a chance to actually go on site and find out more about how your trade that you're learning is done in the real world, and hopefully get some experience from that as well. Another area of work experience and career advantage that we do are some skills that you need to get a job. Those skills are employability skills. So that's things like, can you work safely? Can you work as part of a team? Very important skills in construction. Enterprise skills. A lot of construction companies and construction businesses are self-employed or small businesses. You need to be able to price up work. You need to be able to know how long work will take you to do, and possibly run a small business or be self-employed. So we'll help you with those if you're interested in that. You also need good digital skills. These days, even working in construction, which is on site, a large part of the site will still have involved digital skills. So communicating with your managers, communicating with your colleagues, ordering materials, signing in and out, health and safety reports, things like that. They're all going to be done digitally. So it's important you've got good digital skills. And also applying for positions in the future, such as applying for a job and things like that. You will need to almost certainly fill in electronic forms and use email to do that. So hopefully we will help you do that properly. And finally, social skills, another big one for you. When you go on a construction site, it's a really fun place to work, but there are certain things that you can and cannot do. And we're going to aim to try and help you with those. Things like making sure you're not on your phone at the wrong time, making sure that you talk to people around you in an appropriate manner, and particularly when there's customers, when you're working in customers' houses, make sure that you can do that correctly. So things to think about if you do a construction course at the college. There's a mixture of practical and theory work. So just because it's a construction course, there's theory as well. About 50% practical, 50% theory at the beginning. Probably as you progress through the course, you will do slightly more practical work. You will have to produce a portfolio in the classroom. So you'll have to do written work, store your work, and produce a portfolio. You will take exams as well. So at the end of each subject, each small section of your course, you will take an exam. It's likely to be an online exam tested under exam conditions, and you will need to pass all those exams to pass the course. So that's worth thinking about. For those of you that are taking GCSEs this year, it's very important the result you get. And obviously you're all trying to get a grade 4+ if possible, but we know that some of you won't get that. And you will have the opportunity to resit those while you are at studying your vocational course if you do not achieve a 4+ grade. So it's a compulsory part of the course. You will need to try and achieve a 4+ in English and maths. while you're at college. You also have a course tutor. So as well as the tutors that might take you in the workshop and in the classroom, it's likely that one of those tutors will also be called your course tutor, and they will be interested in how you're getting on overall on the course and things that you might need help with outside college, things that are preventing you coming to college, things like that. That'll be someone you can go to and they can help you with that. They will also have a communication with your parents if you're under 18, so that we can make sure that everyone is communicating well and knows where you are on the course and what you're doing. And as I've already said, you will need to do work experience for at least 1 week during each year of the course. Ideally, it will be slightly longer. We can help you find that work experience, but obviously you can imagine we've got to find work experience for several hundred students. So those of you that have got an uncle, a brother, a friend, someone you know, mum that works in the construction industry, if they can help you get a week's work experience, then that's fantastic. So go with that if that opportunity is available to you. So what do we expect of you? Well, you're joining an industry where there's a high expectation, particularly on things like health and safety and turning up for work and working hard. So we expect good attendance. We would expect you to have 95% or above attendance. That's perfectly achievable. And if you have that attendance, it's very likely you'll do well on the course. If your attendance drops below that, initially we'll be talking to you about that. Why is that? Might be genuine reasons, and we'll try and get you to improve it. If it drops further, there's a strong chance that we will have to have a meeting with you, probably with your parents, and find out what's happening. If the attendance is very, very poor, particularly at the beginning of the course, then there's a chance you might lose your place on the course. So think about that carefully. Punctuality. Most of our courses start at 9 o'clock in the morning. So you need to be able to get to the college by 9 o'clock in the morning. So think about that again. Think hard how you're going to get to college. Make sure you are able to get there at that time. It's important if you're going into a practical lesson, first thing in the morning, you're there on time, you can get changed, put on your health and safety equipment, you know what's going on, and you can get on and be punctual. You need good behaviour. Now, the college has quite a nice atmosphere. It's not quite as rigid as school because you can go out at lunchtime, you can buy things in the canteen, you can go and play football on the field, things like that. It's really nice. However, there's a lot of students at the college, and while you're around the college, you will be expected to have really mature, high standards of behaviour. Finally, the last one on there is effort. Whilst the tutors will do everything they can to help you pass your course and become a bricklayer or a carpenter or whichever trade you want to do, there's only so much they can do. You need to put in the effort yourself. The more effort you put in terms of practicing your work, revising, possibly even going home and practicing what you've been learning in the workshop, then the better you will do. What can you expect from us? Well, all the teachers that you're going to have, whether you're in bricklaying, carpentry, built environment, they've all worked in that industry. So they're all experienced in those trades. They're also trained teachers as well. So they've got two sort of skills, one that they know about construction and the other that they can hopefully teach you as well as possible. You will also get access to all the equipment you need. So things like the materials, they're very, very expensive. You'll never be able to go on a building site and they say, oh, have a go at building a wall. Now, if it goes wrong, we'll just take it down and start again. That's not going to happen. So while you're at the college, you get to use materials, lengths of wood, bricks, pipe, whatever you're doing. And that's very, very expensive. And we'll give you all of that to help you learn how to do that trade while you're at the college. We'll also provide you with the tools, hand tools, and also we've got some really, really good power tools and machines that cut wood, mix materials, things like that. So we provide all that for you. And also we are going to provide you with a qualification that will further your career in construction. You will never have to come back to college again once you do it. You can keep that qualification for life. It's really worth it. If you get a carpentry or bricklaying or other qualification in level 1 and level 2, it will last you a lifetime and you'll do very well. There's a few things you have to provide for yourself. So just like when you're at school, you'll have to provide stationery equipment. You'll have to bring a writing pad, pens and pencils, a ruler. But we also, because you're doing a practical course, you'll have to provide your own safety boots, and that will be explained to you a bit more when you enroll, and also a high vis vest. So in the workshop, all students have to wear safety boots and a high-vis vest. It's compulsory. We also ask you to wear our college uniform, which in construction is just a polo shirt. It's got Bromley College or London South East College's Bromley campus written on it, and it tells the staff what trade you're doing on the back as well. So it's quite a nice thing to have. And so when you come to enrol, we will give you an order form, further details about that, and help you get hold of that equipment. So you'll have to provide that. So each day you'll probably need to bring a rucksack with you to college with your boots, your high-vis vest, and your college work in it. So your career in construction, hopefully this is the start of your career. You can just see a few jobs on the screen there. You can see that we've got carpenter, bricklayer, surveyor, architect, site manager, safety officer. So they're just a few of the roles that the qualifications that you can come to the college and study will lead you to do. Many of you will be choosing a trade straight away and think, well, I want to be a carpenter or I want to be a bricklayer. However, the skills that you get as a trainee carpenter are very easy to transfer to something else. So if you do find you want to be a scaffolder or a decorator or something different, the skills you've learned on a carpentry course, you can still transfer them. Same with bricklaying as well. We generally classify carpentry as a dry trade. You're working with wood, stains, glue, that sort of thing, and bricklaying as a wet trade. And having that experience in one of those can help you with the other trades really well. Also, our level 3 course is training you, hopefully, or teaching you to become a surveyor. So that's a job where you go and look at buildings, make reports, plan what's going to happen to that building. An architect, where you might design buildings, produce the drawings for the building. A site manager, many tradesmen go on to be a site manager. So they work as a tradesman for maybe 10 years or whatever, and then they progress and become a site manager. And there are a whole load of other roles on site, just one, their safety officer, but there's lots and lots more roles on site. Estimator, scaffold inspector, plant manager, all sorts of things you get on a construction site, which are jobs that you can choose from. These are just a few benefits of doing construction skills. Why I think it's a good idea to choose construction and why I enjoyed doing construction. Certainly when I was younger, I think it's fantastic. You get really nice job satisfaction, and you can take a real pride going home in the evening, having built someone a wall or a kitchen, fitted someone's kitchen, or built someone's house or extension or something really big. Gives you a tremendous sense of satisfaction, and you can be really proud of that. Every time you go back round that way and see it, you can think, well, I built that. That's really nice. Good pay, very good pay. In fact, in some trades at the moment, there's a shortage of tradesmen or tradespeople, and you will get good pay if you know what you're doing. Respect, it's really nice among your friends and your family to be able to say, yep, I've learned a trade, I've got my trade. They're going to give you respect for that. And job security. Being a tradesman is a job where often you have to be a little bit adaptable. You're going to work for different companies all over the place, but the fact is you've got that security. If one site runs out of bricklaying, you just move to another one, and there's plenty of sites everywhere doing that sort of thing. Also, the other good thing about the pay is you could become self-employed. Many people set up their own carpentry business or bricklaying business and go and work for customers, and then you can, if you're good enough, you can choose to charge what the customer will pay you if they want your services. Something I already touched on there, career prospects at all levels. So most of you, when I did it, all my colleagues did it, you start off probably as a labourer or a trainee or something like that on site. You're going to be doing most of the heavy work and not much of the skilled work. Then as you get better, you're going to progress to become skilled. And then many of you might not know it yet, but you'll probably find that you will become advisors and then site managers as you get older. So the job's got fantastic career prospects. You will have user skills. So after coming to college and doing one of these courses, you will actually have some skills. You'll be able to make things. If you do carpentry, you'll be able to make things out of wood. And you can, put up shelves, do things at home straight away, and that's far as nature. And then finally there, we've got working in varied locations. So you're not tied down. Some industries you really don't have to live or work in certain areas where that industry is done, but construction's done everywhere. So that's really fantastic. So wherever you live, there will be some construction work going on, which means that you can choose all over London, you can move around the UK, and we've even had students go around the world. So people can, we've had a couple of students going to Canada and Australia to do carpentry work, and they found that they get work there perfectly well. So that's the form. The next little section is for me to answer any questions you might have, and also think about how you're going to apply online. The little point there is make sure you do talk to your tutors at college. That's difficult at the moment, but do it via email, your parents and people you might know, to make sure that they're giving you the right advice to get onto the right course at this time, because it's really important that you start the right course. Okay, so thanks. Help me out with these questions.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that, Dan. Very informative presentation. Great advice there as well. We have had quite a few questions, which is brilliant. We'll kick things off with this first question. Somebody asks, I want to do bricklaying, carpentry, and other construction. Can you hear me okay, Dan? Ooh. There we go. Yeah, back. So yeah, this person would like to do bricklaying,
I can hear you. Yes.
Another construction. Can they do this all under the multi-skills course, or would they have to select a specific one of those?
I would say the best option is if possible is to select one of those, because you can see from the presentation we have level 1 in carpentry and we have level 1 in bricklaying. Entry level course is often described as a multi-skills course. It's mainly carpentry based at our campus, and there is a small amount of bricklaying and possibly a small amount of plumbing and electrical in it as well, but it's mainly a carpentry based course, as I say, dry trade. So it's good if you want to do things like internal work in houses and things like that. But I would say if you think you know what trade you want to do, you're probably better off trying to pick one and then get good at that one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fantastic. That's really sound advice. Next question is about work experiences. Obviously, as you sort of touched on down in the presentation, is super important in this line of work. Somebody asks, are we able to get paid while we do work experience, or is it voluntary?
Normally it's unpaid. Some companies do pay their work experience students. Sometimes they might be done in the form of a gift or something like that. But yes, usually it's unpaid. But then you're getting some great experience. A contact. It's also, don't forget that work experience. It might just be a 1 week, but that person that you meet might then be somebody that does take you on paid when you finish your course or something like that. So the better that you can make the work experience go, it could really be worth it. I know it's not very nice thinking, I've got to work for nothing. I get that, and I've been there as well, and it's worth thinking about. But usually it's unpaid, but some of them do give you something. Certainly they might cover your travel, give you some money for food, that sort of thing as well. So.
Okay, fantastic. And I mean, as you said, at very least, you're getting a fantastic experience and that networking opportunity of meeting people in the industry that, as you said, might want to take you on once you're finished.
And it's only a short time as well. I would say that, I can understand that if you're, doing multiple weeks, then yes, you would, feel that you should be paid for that. But for, say, up to a week or a short period like that, then I think you could probably, put up with just treating it as experience, if you like. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okie dokie. Somebody here has already decided that they want to go into bricklaying, so that's fantastic. Obviously, loved your presentation. They wanted to know how they go about enrolling onto that course from here.
Okay, well, as far as I'm aware, you need to apply online. You go to the LSEC website, and then it's pretty clear there's directions on how to apply. Now, we do have, I think, at this presentation, although you can't see them, people that will help you with that process. So I will try and see if I can get them to contact you. There may be a way you could leave a detail on the chat and I can pass that on if you'd like.
Yeah, I think as well we have some information at the end of the talk in terms of email addresses and stuff like that if people are looking to take that next step. And I think actually once the talk has finished, you will all be directed onto an information page for LSEC as well. So hopefully it should be super clear how you progress onto there. And fantastic, Dan, you've already managed to convert one person onto Bricklay.
That's good. I should say, actually, the first port of call, if you've got a problem with something like getting an application done or online, we have something called the Student Hub at the college, and they come up with a chat. Or if you go onto the LSEC website, there will be a chat box on the side, and you will get you'll get a response from Student Hub pretty quickly, and they'll help you if you've got stuck doing an application. They'll help you straight away. So it's a really, really good way to get on board.
Brilliant. Fantastic. We'll move on to the next question then. Somebody asks, obviously in line with the coronavirus and lockdown restrictions at the moment, they're inquiring about sort of preventative measures that the college is taking in line with coronavirus, and obviously that's going to impact practical sessions and theory stuff. What sort of preventative measures can they expect?
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one because the college has been shut for, during the lockdown, obviously. We've just started opening up for trade students that are needing to finish off their course, and a lot of precautions have been put in. Everything is keeping everyone 2 meters apart, and very strict restrictions on how many people we've got in the college at any one time at the moment, and things like that. Obviously, the situation is changing, so I don't know exactly whether it will be like that in September. I suspect that there will still be some restrictions on what we can do in September, but I'm hoping, for the sake of the people coming to the college, if you like, that they will be able to study reasonably normally within our workshops and things like that. And we do have a lot of space at the college, so fortunately we can still take quite a lot of students in and keep them, socially distant if that's what we need to do. We've also been building up, lots of online resources, and we've been gradually getting used to, using online teaching. I mean, it's something that I think we'd all probably prefer that the students could come into college and, get their hands on the tools, get dirty and get on with what they want to learn, if you like. But there might still be some measures to take place. Definitely, whatever the government's required the colleges to make any safety measures, the college will definitely take them. It's already been kitted out in a very short time with lots of safety equipment and so on because of coronavirus.
Perfect. So we've already got stuff in place to hopefully be able to deal with anything, and to, like I said, make sure that we can get as many people in as possible when the time comes. So that's fantastic. We have another question here, sort of about, I guess, sort of scheduling and that sort of thing. Somebody asks, how many days a week would I need to be actually attending college for the construction and built environment course?
It's usually about 11, 12 hours a week over 3 days. So usually we spread it over 3 days. You will probably still find, though, you're a full-time student if you're on that course. You will still find that you're pretty busy with coursework, so you'd need to spend at least 1 or more days as well doing coursework. Okay. So it might leave you with a day off, but that's great, but it's a full-time course basically.
Okay.
Sorry. I was just going to say, it's full-time. It's not a course aimed at people that are working, if you like. Your time will be, taken up doing that course.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, that completely makes sense. We have a question here about someone who has previously started to undertake a course. So someone says, I started a course before, but I didn't finish it. Am I able to carry my credits over, or would it be better to just sort of start again?
It's quite possible that you might be able to carry it over if you finished elements of the course and were actually certified for those elements. So some BTEC courses, you can get units for those. If you did achieve those units and you have a certificate with those units on, then it may be that you don't need to repeat them. If you just started a course and then came on it and then stopped for whatever reason and didn't get any kind of certificate from it, then there's a chance you might need to start again. That's quite a difficult question, actually. We probably need to talk to you in person at the time or via email and try and resolve that, accurately, so we could advise you a bit better.
Okay, and I guess it's one of those things where it's going to vary depending on different personal circumstances and things like that. But potentially the option to carry credits forward, and if not, starting again is never a terrible option. So I think that like that person, it'd probably be the best thing to do would be get in touch with the Student Hub team and take it from there. Fantastic. Somebody again asking about the construction and built environment course. They want to know how many sort of years it's for, how long until you from the start to when you come out the other end with level 3.
So the level 3 is called the level 3 diploma. It's in 2 parts basically. It's 2 years. So year 1 is a level 3 foundation diploma, and year 2 is a level 3 extended diploma. But basically think of it as a 2-year course, a bit like sixth form, a bit like A levels at school. So normally you would start it when you leave school, when you finish your GCSEs, and you would stay at the college for 2 years. And then when you're 18, 19, depending on where your birthday falls, you would leave with a level 3 after 2 years. Most students don't just stop there. They actually take that level 3 and then they go on to either come back to the college and do a level 4 called a higher national certificate, which is a fantastic qualification to do if you want to go into things like site management, construction management, certain types of surveying. Or some students prefer to take that level 3 and then use it to get into university. So the level 3 course will work just as well as A levels to get you into university if you want to do a construction course.
Fantastic. Okay, brilliant. Somebody asks here, what would you sort of expect from your typical day on the build and construction course? What are you likely to get up to over the course of a normal day in college?
Well, if you're on a trade course, you'll probably spend about half the day in the workshop, as I say, and about half of it in the classroom. So you might arrive at college and then do the first lesson, for example, doing a subject on building technology, where you would be maybe making some drawings, doing notes, that sort of thing. And at the end of maybe 6 to 8 weeks, you would be doing an exam in that subject. Then probably from say mid-morning, you'd get tea break. You could go to the canteen, get tea, cup of tea, coffee, whatever, and then you would spend the morning, maybe the rest of the morning in the workshop. If you're doing carpentry, say, you would be getting a toolkit out, getting your work if you've already started something, or the tutor would be demonstrating how to do the next task you're going to do, and possibly go for lunch. As I say, you've got good facilities in the college, also some nice places you can go around the campus. Then after lunch, probably back in the workshop, and then actually working on your project that you're working on that you've been set. So again, carpentry, you might be making a frame, bricklaying, building a wall, your first wall. And then perhaps the last period of the day, you might well go back into the classroom at the end of the day, possibly to do something like maths or English. And that will be tailored around the vocation that you're doing. We also have things called tutorials that I mentioned, where you will do some of the digital skills or the employability skills that we talked about, and that sort of thing as well. So a bit of a mixture throughout the day, basically.
Okay, fantastic. And I guess that variety is pretty key as well. As you said, obviously the theory is as important as the practical in many ways.
Yeah, I mean, I know, for some people it's not popular, if you like. It sounds like, I'm doing a bricklaying course, so I don't really want to do theory, but it really explains why you're doing things the way you're doing them. There's lots of things in construction that even from from a trade point of view, we use things called building regulations, which are laws that tell you how you've got to build a house and how things have got to go together. They're very important. There's also regulations called health and safety regulations. Well, they're really important as well, and you need to know about those. So before you can really just start going on a building site, there's quite a lot of knowledge, if you like, that you're going to need to be safe, to know what you're doing, to do the job right.
Fantastic. And on the subject of obviously more the theory side, somebody asks about with the assessment, how many sort of exams would they be likely to take in building and construction? Obviously, you mentioned there's the split between practical and theory. So I'm guessing they're talking more about sort of theory written / online exams. What's the exam sort of timetable that they can expect?
Well, let's take, for example, level 1 carpentry as an example. You would probably be doing 6 exams throughout the year. So it's a 36-week year. So you're looking at probably about an exam every half term. You would be studying for about 6 weeks on a particular subject. such as power tools, and then you would take an exam on that. And then you would hopefully pass that. We have very good pass rates, usually 95% or more people pass. If you've been to the lessons, listen to what the tutor's saying, done a little bit of revision, you'll pass. If you don't pass, you can do a resit. We'll give you some extra tuition, and then you'll get a resit. So probably about 6 exams on a level 1 carpentry, similar on a level 2 carpentry, but obviously the exams are a little bit more difficult. Level 2 bricklaying also has about 6 exams. Level 1 bricklaying, I think, it's got slightly fewer. And then there's the level 3 course, which actually only has 2 exams, but they are much longer and more difficult. One of those is in January, where you do an online exam, which is science and maths and building technology. And then the other exam is in the summer. And that's quite an unusual exam, where as well as doing some examining things, you have to actually do coursework under exam conditions, where you have to do construction drawings, CAD, and write some reports on how you design a building, that sort of thing.
Okay, fantastic. So yeah, a lot of different exams, but as you said, it's all very useful to inform the practical side of things as well. And they sound quite interesting as well. Being able to get on the design side of building houses and stuff like that. If you're looking at these sort of courses, those are the sort of things that would really interest you. So maybe not exams to be too scared about, I'd say.
No, at level 1, if you do the work, as I say, you'll be fine. At level 2, you are going up a notch. You will need to revise for those exams properly to pass those, and then so on. Level 3, that little bit harder still. They are the equivalent. Level 3 is the equivalent of A level, so the exams are that much harder.
Fantastic. And then last question here, just to wrap it up. Somebody asks, well, that they said they've got previous academic experience from university in Spain. How is that best to sort of translate over to working out maybe what the best course is for them? Is that something, again, where you'd recommend getting in touch with the Student Hub team and working it out from there?
Dan, yes. If you've got experience already, if you're a mature student, then I would suggest we do a course called a Higher National Certificate, which is a level 4 course. You okay? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, feel free to carry on, Dan. I think we're back on now.
Can you hear me? Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry about that, everyone. Yes, I was just saying we've got a level 4 course called Higher National Certificate. It's particularly good for mature students. And if you've got experience, for example, you just said that this person that's asked this question has a university qualifications already, it would probably be a really good thing for them to go straight into that. And then they could use the knowledge they've already got to build on.
Fantastic. Okay, brilliant. Well, let's wrap it up there. Thank you so much, guys, for all of your questions, and Dan for your responses. Some great advice there. If you are looking to, potentially enroll with us here at London South East Colleges, you could do so super easily by going online, as Dan mentioned. Simply visit www.lsec.ac.uk. If you do have any more questions, maybe about specific individual circumstances, as we've talked about, do feel free to contact our Student Hub team by emailing studenthub@lsec.ac.uk. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much, Dan, for joining me today.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you.
No problem at all. If you are going to enroll, then hopefully we'll see you in September. And if not, we'll catch you later on in the week for more LSEC online open day action. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.